You're listening to Parasearch Radio, news, views and reviews from the world of the paranormal from across the UK and beyond. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web. Parasearch UK Radio. Parasearch Radio, broadcasting to the UK and beyond.
The views and opinions expressed by presenters and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Parasearch Radio or its affiliates and sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's episode of the Supernatural Show. We have had a slight change to the guests joining us tonight, so I really do apologise about that. The lovely Jolene is not able to be with us tonight. She's not very well, so we really hope you get well soon, Jo. In the guest room tonight, we have Di Jones. Hi, Di.
Hi.
So, Di, you're here tonight to chat to us about dealing with an illness while going on public ghost hunts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you all ready for that?
Yeah.
And we've also got Ashley Norman. Ash, hi, how are you?
I'm all right, mate. You?
Yeah, I'm not bad, thank you. So Ash is the biggest skeptic you will ever meet in your life. You may think I'm exaggerating. You can decide for yourselves as this show goes on. Thank you so much for joining me, guys, both of you, at this late hour of the evening.
No worries. It's all good.
No worries. You're welcome.
So, Di, shall we start with you, my little lamb? Do you want to tell the listeners at home what your illnesses are?
Okay. Epilepsy and anxiety.
So, with your epilepsy, Di, how do your seizures affect your ghost hunting?
Kind of more. Well, it's a lot of it is kind of more anxiety based because I get worried in case I'll have a seizure when I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
But I try not to let it actually affect me. Whenever I go on an event, I always let the organisers know in advance so they're aware just in case. Yes. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous.
Don't be nervous, honestly. You've got absolutely nothing to be nervous about. It is just us chatting. So I know, obviously, because I've known you for quite a while now, Di. Obviously, I've known you for, 3 years? About 3 years now?
Yeah.
And
easily.
in that 3 years, we've done quite a few ghost hunts together.
Yeah.
And I have actually been witness to you having a seizure on an event.
Yeah.
How do you find that is with other people? How do you think the other guests react to it? I mean, obviously, when I've been with you, you've been quite lucky because it's just been friends, really.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I always try and go kind of somewhere more private so it doesn't affect anybody else.
Yeah.
I do worry about what others think, which I need to stop doing really. But I mean, I've never actually kind of had a full-blown one in front of lots of people on an event, so I've not had to worry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I always try and go somewhere more private. So,
Have you ever had, I'm not asking if you have, I'm not asking you to name them because that's not what this is about. But have you ever had any ghost hunting companies refuse to allow you access onto a hunt because of your illness?
yes,
Have you really?
I have.
What actually happened? What was said? If you don't mind me asking, that is. I mean, obviously, the idea of this is because I'm sure that there's plenty of other people that are listening that have probably got an illness and feel that they can't attend ghost hunts because of it.
Yeah. I mean, I always just think like there's no reason why you can't. They should be available for everybody to attend.
Yeah, definitely.
So long as you let the event organisers know in advance, just in case anything were to happen.
So when you've been refused access, how does that work? Do they just say,
well,
you're not coming?
Yeah, well, I emailed a company once and asked them, well, I just explained basically and said that I was really keen to go on their events, but I wanted to inform them of my illness beforehand.
Yeah.
And well, I've done it for two event companies. One of them turned around and said, it's not practical for you to come because we're not here to look after you.
Wow.
I had another events company say that I can go with them, but if I were to have a seizure, I'll be sent home.
After paying quite a lot of money to attend the event, you'll just be sent on your merry way.
Yeah. So
Wow.
obviously that's two teams that I've not even booked with since.
Well, I can't actually say as I blame you for that, to be honest, Di. I'm not so sure that I would book either if that was the case. I mean, everybody has some form of an issue, whether that be, like you say, anxiety or whether that be an actual illness. Most people have something that could affect them on a ghost hunt.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think it's a bit, well, it's discrimination, isn't it? Whichever way you look at it. Ash, how do you feel about that? I mean, obviously, you've been on a number of ghost hunts.
Yeah.
And if you was in Di's shoes, how would you feel about that?
I mean, I suppose it's like a kind of a catch-22 situation, really, when you think about it, because obviously it depends how like the companies obviously spoke to you, Di. If they're like really derogatory towards you, then fair. But if you was going somewhere like that was quite small and cramped, quite dangerous, obviously, for you to go, like on obviously the Ancient Ram, like some of the floorboards and stuff, they were a bit like wobbly and stuff. If there was like a health and safety aspect to it, then I could kind of see why. But if it's just a point blank no, then that's just really rude, really, isn't it? Like,
I mean, Di, I mean, the locations that you was after booking, was they hazardous to your health?
I don't think so, no.
Yeah. If it's not hazardous, then what's the like?
Exactly. And I'm not being funny, but in everyday life, if you're gonna have a seizure, Die, that can happen on a bus. That can happen walking down the street. That can happen anywhere. So, do you not think? I know you said, Ash, about it being derogatory, but do you not think that it's discriminating to say, no, you can't attend our ghost hunts because you've got an illness?
I'd probably, yeah. When you put it like that, definitely.
Especially about putting you on the spot.
Yeah, they're right. I feel like Katie Hopkins.
Especially because I have always said to them that I do kind of pretty much 95% of the time get a warning anyway.
Yeah, and more to the point though, Di, with knowing you as I do, when you go, or especially back in those days when ghost hunting was reasonably new to you, when you went on a ghost hunt, you would actually take somebody with you so that if you did have a seizure, they was there to assist you in any way rather than the staff.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, is it not Is it not?
Yeah, I think staff members, like certain staff members, should be trained, like in these sort of like circumstances where people obviously like die and people that have got medical conditions. Say if someone was diabetic and they had like a hypo or like whatever, should be able to treat them.
Exactly. I mean, most teams anyway, I know I'm a first aider. And I know a few people that also ghost hunt and they're first aiders too. So I know that most teams do have first aiders. So I just can't seem to logically get my head around somebody saying that, no, you can't come on a ghost hunt because you have epilepsy. I mean, realistically, I mean, Ash, you know this just as much as anybody, because at the grand old age of what, 21?
3. When I'm due, yeah.
Ash, like, pretty much had a heart attack at the age of 21. You know, that can happen at any time. Nobody knows when it's going to happen. So is it not the same as having an illness as to being struck with a cardiac event? Well, if you look at it as in, like, you don't know when it's going to happen. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen.
And it can happen to any single person at any time in their life, whether they've ever had a seizure or not.
Exactly. So I don't know. Maybe I just see it differently. That's why, you know, let's get other people's opinions. So if anybody in the chat room is listening, please drop in and tell us what you think about this discussion that we've got going on right now.
Yeah, I think it's more like I said, I think it's more like you've got to be sensible, like, with it. Like, obviously, I don't know how you are, like, with your seizures or anything like that, Di. But say if someone was, like, really bad with the seizures and they wanted to, like, go somewhere that was, like, out the way and, like, really rocky and stuff like that, I think you've kind of, like, got to weigh it up. Like, I see what you say, Gem, about,
is that down to the company, though? Or is that down to the individual that is booking an event? Because my mum, for example, mum has spinal problems. Yeah. I wouldn't dream of taking her, as you said, Ash, I wouldn't dream of taking her to somewhere that's really rocky, really uneven, slippery surfaces. I wouldn't do that because I've then got the risk of mother injuring herself.
Yeah. I think
personally, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I think it's both, really. I think it's great, Di, obviously, that you do tell, like, the organisers and stuff, look, I do have this, it could happen. Like you said, I know, obviously, like, when it's going to, like, kick off, like, in a sense. But like, say if you wanted to, like, go somewhere, like, I don't know, like a cave or somewhere like that where, like, there was massive health and safety issues, and then obviously the organisers were like, well, we're not really sure, like, where we stand with that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think you've got to be kind of, like, sensible to yourself. Like, do you think if obviously, like, the condition that you've got, whatever it might be, is that bad? Is it really appropriate for me to go there? Type thing. So
I always am cautious anyway. Like, I'll always kind of go with a friend so that I'm not kind of on my own. I'll always make sure that I've got, like, the transport sorted for me getting home. And I'll always make sure that the place that I'm going to is suitable. Yeah.
Do you have, like, any triggers, like, for it? Because, like, I know, like, some people that have epilepsy, it can be, like, photosensitive epilepsy, or if they're, like, tired or, like, anxious or anything like that. So is there anything, like, triggers that you've got?
Yeah, basically, like, all 3 of them.
All 3 of them. Oh, no.
Nice and simple then, Di.
Do you know, actually, to be quite fair, Di, I would actually like to take you on a ghost hunt with me, because do you know what my biggest bugbear is that when everyone hears a noise and, like, everyone's switching the lights on and off like that, I'm like, no, you can't do that, Di's here.
Yeah. So, Ash, let's move it over to you for a minute then, because when I first met you, Ash, you didn't believe in ghosts at all. No such thing.
No.
You're never going to believe?
No. I mean, I wouldn't say personally that I'm 100% believer. I mean, at the point when we was at the old Nick Gainsborough and I thought I saw a ghost shoe, right? Then I was like, oh my God, I've seen a ghost. But it was an actual shoe, and I was really upset with that. But But yeah,
Everybody at home now is going to be listening, going, "What is a ghost shoe?"
It's a shoe.
It's a literal shoe. Yeah, Ash see a shoe and he thought it was an actual ghost shoe.
Well,
Very disappointed when he realised it was an actual shoe.
I was on the stairs looking up and it wasn't there, and then we all went for a break. And we all went back, and there was this bloody shoe just there. I was like, "Oh my god, it's the ghost shoe!" But it wasn't.
But no, seriously though, Ash, when we first met, you was a complete non-believer, and then what happened in your shop? Which I got the blame for as well. I might just add.
So in the shop, like really like weird stuff happened. And was happening for like quite a while, but my mum was the one that was picking up like mostly on it. Like before, we used to have like the kitchen upstairs, and all the drinks and stuff would be made upstairs. And my mum was making a drink one day, and then the top of the coffee like lid just like flew off, and she was just like there flapping, wasn't she? She was like, "The thing's just falling off." I'm like, "No. Like, don't be daft. Like, you're seeing things, Mum." She's like, "No, I did." I'm just like, "Yeah, whatever then." And then like. That was like the first thing, and then stuff would like go missing and stuff like that, and I'd be like, "Oh, whatever," because I am like a really forgetful person anyway. Like honestly, like I'll put something down, I'll like do something else and go back. I'm like, "Where the bloody hell have I put it?" Like Asia disappeared. But yeah, and just like weird stuff. And then Gemma was just like, "Hi, I'm Gemma." I was like, "Hi, Gemma."
I'm pretty sure it didn't go down like that at all. But yeah,
Hey,
we then met.
I'm paraphrasing. I'm paraphrasing what happened.
Then we met, Ash, and you found out what I do in my spare time.
Yeah, I found out that obviously Gemma worked for another company at the time, and was just like, "Oh, like ghosty and ting," and I was like, "All right, cool. I think my shop might be haunted." And then she went up the stairs and was just like, "I've got this like really like oppressive like feel," and I'm just like, okay. And then what was it? Did you say, "Can I do an investigation or something?" Or was it?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I was like, "Can I come and investigate? Can I spend a night in your shop?" I mean, bearing in mind we'd probably spent all of 15 minutes talking at that point, and I'm like, "Oh, it feels really funny in here. Please, can I come investigate?" You know?
Yeah.
It's one way to meet new friends, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So, and obviously we did the investigation, and out of all of the ghost hunts that I've been on, obviously since then, 3 years ago, Gem. Yeah, I know.
That's gone so quick, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has gone quick. Ever since then. But yeah, so the first investigation that we did at the shop, that was like the scariest and like the scared I've ever felt, to be quite fair.
Well, yeah, in all fairness, I mean, I've got a really good photo, haven't I, Ash, from that investigation. Basically, at the end of the night, we wasn't even planning on ending there. I think everybody just got a bit freaked out, didn't they? So we just agreed that, at this point, it's probably wise to call it a night before anybody starts giving themselves a coronary. There's no other way to put it. Everybody was on high alert. It was so oppressive. It was unreal. So we ended the investigation. How many people was there? About 15 people, would you say?
There was me, you, other Gemma, Tiff, Nath, Sean, and Puddin.
So lots of people.
Yeah. I just trying to like rack it through and run through in my mind, all right?
So yeah, there was quite a few of us, and I was the last person to come down the stairs because nobody wanted to walk down the stairs at the back, did they, Ash?
No.
Everybody was like, "I'm not going last. I'm not going last."
Not even me, like, Mr. Skeptic.
I think you was down first, wasn't you?
Yeah, I was scared skeptic.
So then somebody that was with us just had my phone, didn't they, and snapped a picture.
Yeah.
And we're stood on the stairs, and the stairs still go up further behind us, and you can see an actual outline of, well, it's a hooded figure, isn't it, Ash?
Yeah.
That picture actually went viral, and nobody has been able to debunk it as of yet. So we're still looking out for people to try and debunk that, aren't we, Ash?
We are indeed. We are indeed. It's just like a solid mass, which is really. I love debunking stuff. I like getting scared when I'm on the ghost hunts, when I'm hearing noise, and I'm just like, what was that noise? And then I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, well, it's probably this and probably that. But like at the time, I'm just like, I love being scared. Love it.
Yeah. But you are very skeptical, though, aren't you? Like you say, you will. Don't get me wrong. I try and debunk as much as I can because personally, I don't think it makes a good investigator if you just automatically assume that everything's paranormal.
Yeah, exactly.
So I always try and debunk things anyway. But sometimes, Ash, I think it's safe to say you have taken it to the extreme.
What about debunking?
Yes. Yes. I mean, there's debunking and then there's ghosts aren't real for 10 seconds later for something happen for you to go, oh, well, actually, what is that? And then 10 seconds later say, no, definitely not.
Well, you see, the thing is, I've got I don't know, because obviously I'm quite sciencey and I like my sciences and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't subscribe to the same degree of like a ghost is like what everybody think a ghost is. Do you know what I mean?
So what do you think a ghost is, Ash?
Well, this is like a really strange thing because I can't really put it into words without sounding crazy. So
just go for it. Nobody's going to judge you on here.
Right. So everyone knows you can't really destroy energy, can you? It can just be displaced and stuff like that. Maybe the ghosts that we're seeing are kind of rips maybe in time and space, and they're replaying from different parts of history maybe.
So what you're saying is stone tape theory.
Whatever that is, if that's what it sounds like, then yeah.
That is pretty much exactly what you've just described, in all fairness, Ash.
Yeah, quite possibly.
But that's not answering the question, is it? That's telling me what you think. What theory you think it is. So if you don't necessarily believe in ghosts,
yeah,
how and why would the energy still be there?
Because obviously it can't be destroyed; it can just be displaced. So,
but would energy not disperse over time?
Well, no, because you can't destroy it. It would move about and bounce around and stuff. So depending on what it is, and depending on what we mean by energy, my definition of when it comes to stuff like this of energy compared to Di's version of energy compared to yours version of energy, there could be three different things altogether. I think that's the thing. With the whole paranormal thing in general, there's no rule book and there's no thing to go, well, this is this on Ghostbusters where it's hey, we've got a class 1 ghost or something like that. We got a class 3 haunting at the subway.
Yeah, I've definitely not said that ever.
So yeah.
Oh, Ash. Honestly, where did I find you?
241 Grimsby Road. Shameless plug. But yeah.
You don't have to do a shameless plug, Ash. I will be sharing your link in the chat room, so don't you worry.
Cheers, Rod.
No shameless plugging needed on this radio show.
Available on iTunes. No. Yeah. So, do I believe in ghosts? For argument's sake, we'll say yes, just for argument's sake. Because obviously within that, do you believe in ghosts? There are different things within the paranormal community that people think of what ghosts are as well. I've met some right special cases on ghost hunts that think all weird and wonderful things.
Such as?
Well,
I'm going to have to put you on the spot now, Ash. You've left yourself wide open there, love.
I can't. I can remember that one lady at Gresley Hall, and she said that every single night she would let spirits come and entertain her, if you get what I mean.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
can you remember?
I'm back in the room. Yes, I can remember.
Yes. And other...
But then...
like that.
other stuff like, go on, Ash, you're going to have to
Well,
elaborate.
there's the whole things with like demons and stuff like that, and like when it comes to demons and stuff, I'm just like, oh, whatever, like stop being an idiot.
But then you're a complete atheist anyway, so to believe in demons, you would have to believe in God, and vice versa. And obviously, I'm not going to get you on that topic because I know what happens when we do.
All beer all
And
night,
quite
mate.
frankly, we want listeners to keep tuning in. Di, what do you believe that ghosts are, and where did your passion for ghost hunting come from?
I 100%. Start again. I 100% believe that ghosts exist. I don't know. I suppose it is like the energy of the deceased person, basically. But sometimes it can kind of come in form of that person.
As in shadows and
apparitions and things. My first paranormal experience was when I was about 7, and I stayed at my grandparents' house. My mum's old house where she grew up. She'd never told me anything about it. But I witnessed quite a lot when I was there. I was absolutely petrified because it was my first time of witnessing anything. Things were moving in front of me. There was music playing on the landing and no one was there. There was footsteps up the stairs, but my grandparents were downstairs watching TV. A doll in the room that I was in, a doll kind of just suddenly moved from one side of the room, like literally flew across the room in front of me.
Now, you see, Ash, I know for a fact, would love to try and debunk all of that.
He's welcome to try. I've tried and I can't. But when I spoke, because I ended up going home early because I was so scared. And
bless you. How old was you at that point?
I think I was 7. I was
so really young then.
And I remember my mum telling me that a lot happened when she lived there. There was a lot of activity going on. She said that I'd obviously witnessed some as well.
Wow.
So I've kind of always believed since then.
Yeah. And then obviously as you get older.
Yeah. I became really interested in it and wanted to actually try it myself, like investigating and stuff.
Do you have, I ask everybody this question just because A, I like to know why people choose a certain object to be their favourite piece of equipment, and B, because there's so many different types of equipment out there that I think it's good to get a general understanding on what the public likes. So what is your favourite piece of equipment, Di?
I don't know, because I'm not really that kind of big on equipment. I always I'd rather like use my own kind of instincts first.
I'm a use my own instincts kind of girl. So
see, hear, feel what I can, and then just use like the equipment as kind of a backup.
Yeah. I mean, I'm completely with you on that one. I like to use my own instincts all the time. I think you're born with these senses for a reason. If you don't use them, you lose them. So, make the most of it. And if you can back it up with a piece of equipment, even better.
Yeah.
Ash, have you got a favourite piece of equipment? Because I know that you quite often used to steal my equipment and run off with it.
Yeah. My favourite piece of equipment is the EDI.
Eddie,
I love Eddie.
Yeah. That's because Eddie has everything built into one, really.
Yeah, the bells
atmospheric, temperature, movement. Eddie has everything. I love an Eddie. I do love an Eddie. You're right. Yeah. Not a specific Eddie, just the piece of equipment. Yeah.
Well, that's
What you say, Ash?
nothing. Carry on.
Oh. You always get one, don't you?
Oh. Shut up and carry on.
So Ash, you've not been out investigating in a while.
No.
Has the activity in the shop calmed down since you've not been investigating?
It's, to be fair, it's weird you should say that, actually, because like it kind of like it spikes. Like it goes up and then like one day loads of stuff will happen and even customers will notice it, like doors will just randomly swing open and stuff like that. And Vivs will open as well. That's like a common one. And footsteps upstairs when all the staff members are downstairs, and you can quite clearly hear them and stuff. But yeah, and as well when the rabbits are outside, that's even more of like a strange one when you know for a fact that these animals can't be making these noises.
Yeah, because when the upstairs is completely empty, there is absolutely no reason for those noises to be happening.
No, it's deathly silent. But yeah,
how do your staff act?
Some of them really don't like going up the stairs. Really don't like it, and ex staff members as well, like ex work experience and stuff. Like some of them just point blank refuse to just go up the stairs. Just no. When I do ask the work experience as well, we've got a really young lass who does work experience with us. She's in year 8, and she just hates it. That back room, she just refuses to go in it. Just point blank, no, not happening.
Well, I'm not surprised. I've been in that back room. And when I was doing an investigation in there, was it a broom or something, Ash, went flying? Or, no, it was a massive piece of wood, wasn't it?
It was the top shelf part for the Viv. That's what it was. It just
Which
kind
was
of
what, about 6 foot?
No, it's actually bigger than that. It was bigger? It was bigger. It was 10 foot long by 4 foot. So yeah, 10 by 4 it was. So
a 10-foot piece of wood is not going to move on its own in an empty room.
No. And then obviously it needed 3 people to like move it back. So
yes, it did. Yeah, and it weren't just 3 people either. It was 3 big, strong men that was shifting it.
Yeah. Indeed it was. But,
so yeah. I can totally sympathise with why your work experience do not like that back room. I don't like it either.
Yeah, like the thing is as well, like some of the people that like you would arguably say are more susceptible to like ghosty stuffs. Such as like Becca and stuff like that. Like they have to keep their items that they're working with close to them, otherwise they'll put them down and then they'll be gone.
So but things are still moving then? Yeah,
things are still moving. But it's very strange because people that don't believe it and that are like militant, even more militant than me with my atheism, if you can believe it, Gemma, even
don't
people more
believe
militant than me. True fact. Their stuff doesn't move. So do you know what I mean? That's where I'm like.
So what do you think makes people more susceptible to things happening?
I don't know. Maybe if you're, I don't know how to word it properly without offending people.
These are the sort of moments where I'd love to be able to say, just whisper it to me, Ash. Should we let you think about that one for a minute and throw it over to Di?
Yes, definitely.
Di, same question, over to you, honey.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
So what do you think makes people more susceptible to paranormal activity happening?
I think kind of the more sensitive you are to spirit, I think you're more likely to kind of witness things, but I think that's because you're more open to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think, I mean, Ash, have you thought about how you can word it without offending people yet?
Like, no, because that's really rude.
Do you
What?
not think, though, that if you are very closed off and you don't actually want to believe, do you think it limits it?
Not as closed off. There we go.
Right, okay, so
we'll go with
not
that.
as mentally closed off.
Yes, yeah, like
so open to the prospect.
I wouldn't say open to the prospect because I'm quite open to the prospect, but I don't get as much stuff happening to me as like other people do. So I can remember when we was at what's that bloody big one that begins with an N? That place we went to, Gemma, for Halloween. Nottingley. Yeah, Nottingley. Well, we went to
that begins with an M, doesn't it?
N. It's my diction. I do apologise.
Begins with a K, actually.
Well, I was just going to say that, Di.
Well, hey, we can all be pedantic, can't we? Do you know what we all know what we're on about now, don't we? Do you know what I'm saying? Right? But yeah, so Nottingley Hall, right? When everyone saw like that apparition, like floating and stuff, and I'm just like, oh my god, where was it? And they're like, oh, just floating over there. And I'm just like, yeah, but where though? Like, I didn't see it. Like, why do all these things? I mean, the thing is, I would love to be proven wrong. I love it. I thrive off being proved wrong. But for the minute, I haven't 100%. Like, most of the stuff I can put down to something else. There's only a select few instances where I've been like, that was really weird. Like, I can't really explain that one. But yeah. Yeah. I don't know why they don't happen to me more often. Surely, like, people like me that aren't like don't believe in it as much as other people do, however, are quite open to it. I mean, I'm quite open to it, to be fair.
There was a time though, Ash, where you wasn't open to it.
Oh yeah, definitely there was a time, but like now I am like fairly open to it. I'm just like, I want to be proved wrong, that type of thing. But it's still, I haven't had something like concrete for me to go, yeah, bang on, that's what it is.
This always throws back to the same old question or the same old statement, that I always say.
I know what you're going to say.
Go on, what am I going to say, Ash?
I can't remember, but when you say it, it'll come back to me.
Well, I just don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand what people are expecting. I mean, are people expecting to go for a pint and have a selfie with a ghost? I mean, films are not real, so the things that you see in films do not happen on your everyday ghost hunt. I would love to say it does, but it doesn't. And I think you have to be realistic with that. And Di, I mean, how do you feel about that statement?
About what, sorry?
Because you're obviously an avid ghost hunter. You go on as many events as you possibly can.
Yeah.
So when all you're getting is little taps or knocks or you think you've been bushed past, are you happy with that sort of activity? Or do you leave the night saying, well, not a lot happened?
No, I'm quite happy with just kind of like a little bit happening, because spirits aren't performing monkeys. They're not kind of there to do what you want them to do all the time. If they don't want to speak, they're basically humans, aren't they? If they don't want to speak, they're not going to.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I wouldn't.
No,
I was be like, I'm not going to do nothing. I'm going to wait till you've left, and then I'm going to have a party for one.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
So no, I'm not disappointed. I mean, I know a lot of people are like, they'll be like, oh no, it was really quiet there, I don't want to go there again. But I'm quite happy to go back to somewhere where we didn't get any activity, because you never know, the next time you might.
Exactly. No 2 nights are ever the same, as you know, Ash, from not only the shop, but you've been on a number of events with me. And we've been back to a few places, and we never get 2 nights exactly the same, ever.
Neil, no, that we do not. But no, I think when it comes to like what do you expect? I mean, for me personally, I'm not expecting to go down the pub and go for a pint with them and stuff like that. But what I would like expect is, I don't know, something more concrete that I can't rule out. Do you know what I mean? Like if it's like a bang, and we're like,
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Well, that could have been a number of things. But if it's something like more like a noise, like more human, like for example, like whistling and stuff like that. Like the whistling at the shop is one of the things that I can't debunk. Like, and
What
I'm
about
like,
the little girl's voice?
but yeah, true. But like, was that on the spirit box and stuff?
No, we was
that
in
not?
the corridor.
Well, I didn't hear that. I didn't
Did
hear
you
that.
not hear?
No.
Right, okay.
The only things that I've heard like vividly that I super can't debunk, obviously, is like the whistling in the shop, because that's to me anyway. That sounds far too human to be anything. And as well, the animals that we've got in the shop don't make noises. So
Well, they make noises, but they definitely don't whistle.
oh yeah, they don't like, as in like they don't vocalize or anything like that.
No.
They don't make noises like that. I mean, obviously the scratch and whatnot, but it is
But
what it is.
scratching is quite a distinct sound anyway, isn't it? And especially because obviously, well, it's not obvious to people listening at home, but you run a reptile store.
Yeah.
I don't know where my mind went then. I do apologise. Yeah, you run a reptile store, so you spend all day, every day around reptiles. I have reptiles, so once you get used to the sounds, it's very distinctive. So it's really easy to say, well, actually, guys, no, sorry, that wasn't anything paranormal. That was an animal.
Yeah.
Or a reptile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like that stuff like that. Oh wait, no, I think I can remember. Come to think of it, I think I can remember that voice down the stairs. I think, can I? Yes, I can. No. Wait.
Well, just hang on a minute while Ash does 50-50 and phone a friend.
No, I'm pretty certain I've heard it. I'm pretty certain.
Yeah, because that little voice was very, very distinctive, and it was very clear.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the first times that I ever heard such a clear voice without the aid of a spirit box.
Yeah. It's really weird. To be fair, like obviously, when did we have a medium the first time we did one? No, we didn't, did we?
No.
But we did have some mediums, obviously, after, haven't we? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we've had a few mediums come in, haven't we, just to see whether or not the same story applies, if you will.
Yeah. That's the thing as well, like with mediums, that like I'm like, sometimes I'm like really skeptical, and then other times I'm just like, well, how would you know this? Like, especially when it comes to like the shop, for example, like
because it's not like you can find that much, as we know, because we've spent hours researching the shop.
Yeah.
And it was really difficult to find information.
Yeah, find any bit of info. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but obviously when all these like mediums and stuff like were coming back like with near enough. I mean, some of them were like way off, like, and I was like, get out of town, like, type thing. But like, there was some, and they were just like, yeah, like the things as well. Like it was like the unsuspecting ones, like the ones that were like mecking out. Well, can you remember that time when I rang you up and there was that lady? She was like quite small and she had like really funky hair. And
yes.
I was like, there's this like medium, and she just like asked after you and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I still have no idea who that lady was.
Yeah, she came in with her husband, and she was just like picking up on like all the ghosts and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, people have like picked up on anywhere between like, I think that there's like 5 main ones, isn't there, that the people have picked up on, like, and that's like an average number. But like other people have like said that there's anywhere like up to like 30 apparently, like just like chilling in the background, and I'm like, what does chilling in the background mean?
Yeah, well, no, you see, I'm with you on that one, because obviously I've spent quite a bit of time in the shop, and I'm not so sure I necessarily believe that there's up to 30 spirits. I think there's obviously something, in your shop, because a lot of the activity seems to happen when you've been doing renovations on the shop and moving stuff around, and which is quite common for haunted locations to actually become more active when change happens.
Yeah. Well, it's going to... well, they're probably going to get a lot more then, because we've been doing some work recently, to be fair. So, yeah. So maybe
you're
time
just a
for further
sucker for your
investigation.
own punishment, aren't you, Ash?
I know. Hopefully this time... Well, actually, what happened last time? Like, it's all a blur to me, to be honest.
Yeah, I can't really remember, to be honest, Ash. I've been on that many investigations that I can't, but I need somebody to say to me, do you remember when this happened, for me to be able to remember.
I can remember when other Gemma screamed and all the doors opened. Remember that? When that was upstairs.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was the first ever event as well, wasn't it? Not event, the first ever ghost hunt that we did at your shop.
Yeah, first ever one I've been on as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah, there was the toilet door, the rabbit room, and obviously like the door at the back of the room, and they just all opened. And there was that weird book on how to discipline children, just like rocked up. Yeah, like really old book.
A book just appeared that not one of us had seen the whole night, and then it just like appeared, and it was like, okay.
Yeah, it was on how to discipline children, like the old. Yeah, call something like the scalding of your children or something, like scalding. Oh. Isn't that when you burn them with water?
That is a form of scalding, yes, but I do believe, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that you can use the term scalding for telling off.
Oh, I was gonna say, because like when you scold someone, that's abuse, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't chuck boiling water on people.
Well, no, it's not really the done thing. To be fair, Ash, no, I wouldn't recommend it.
No, probably not.
Have you got any events coming up, Di, that you're going on?
I'm just trying to think, what month are we now? September. I've got.
We're pretty close to October now.
Yeah, I've got a couple
24th.
in October. I've got one at the Galleries of Justice, in Nottingham, and one at the Old Trip to Jerusalem in Nottingham.
Very nice.
And then November, I've got the Village, Mansfield.
Yeah.
And I'm also going on a witchcraft weekend in Colchester at the Red Lion, which is haunted.
Yes.
So on the Saturday night, we're doing a ghost hunt there.
Oh, very nice.
So yeah, I've got a few planned.
Got a few coming up then, so you've got a few busy months ahead of you.
Yeah.
And Halloween season is approaching.
It is. I can't wait.
Ash, what are you doing for Halloween?
I'm dressing up as a drag queen and going out.
Oh, that's very in the spirit of Halloween. Do you ever ask those questions and then automatically think to yourself, why on earth did I ask that question?
No, but now you're going to get a weird answer.
Yeah, knowing that, yeah, exactly. I mean, let's be fair, you never know what you're going to get with you, Ash.
No. To be fair, I think I've been relatively tame tonight, in all fairness.
And I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed.
I need a big round of applause.
We're not quite at the end of the show yet, Ash. Hang in there. You can do this.
Oh, blooming heck. I'm got chesty cough me. Oh, Christ.
So, Di, what was your last event? Because I've not spoken to you in a while. So where did you last visit, and did you have much activity?
Oh gosh. So I was meant to have a few events recently, but they've all been cancelled. The last one I went on, I actually really can't remember, as bad as that is.
Really? Has it been that long?
I actually can't remember. It just seemed quite a while. I think the last one that I went on that I actually remember was the village, Mansfield.
Mansfield. How
And
do you
that
find it there?
I love it there. We got quite a lot of activity. So yeah, I do really like it there.
What form of activity was you getting?
In like the cell bit, we had a couple of people being affected quite badly, like taken over. We saw shadows. We had the K2s and all sorts kind of going off in response to questions.
Yeah.
Just general things like that.
Just general, just your everyday.
Just every day, like ghost hunting stuff, K2s going on.
So when you say that people was being taken over, Di, can you elaborate a little bit on that? What do you mean? What was happening?
I mean, I wasn't actually in there at the time. Or well, no, I was for one of them, but I know from the other one, I just heard what had happened. Where she.
So the one that you was in there for, then can you explain that? Because obviously, no disrespect to anybody, but if you wasn't there and you didn't see it yourself, then it's just hearsay, isn't it?
Yeah. The one that I was in the room for, she literally kind of changed completely, like her whole face changed and her whole kind of personality. She wouldn't speak, but then when she did, it was I don't know, it was really weird, but it just wasn't her at all.
So how did she become herself again then?
She had to be cleansed by the medium.
Right, okay. So there was a medium there as well.
Yeah.
What was the medium picking up? You see, this is the bit that I get really interested in, because if somebody's acting a certain way and then the medium starts picking up on a presence, if you like, was that happening? Was the medium there at that time or not?
I think she was called in afterwards, to be honest. I can't remember fully.
Right, okay.
Sorry,
putting you on the spot like that. But...
No, it's fine. No, I just don't have very good memory.
No, it's fine.
But no, I think she was called in afterwards. I know that it was picked up that the person in there didn't like me, because I was basically, well, I don't know, but they didn't actually affect me, so it was all good.
So the presence didn't like you, but didn't affect you and affected someone else.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because the spirit in there, I kind of knew what he'd done.
Right. Okay.
So he didn't like me because I knew what he'd done.
How did you know what he'd done? Had you done research on the location beforehand, or?
No, it was things that I was picking up, but then also like things that other people were picking up, but then also kind of from asking questions.
Yeah. And how was you getting your replies?
By like we did like a human pendulum in there. So we had it by that, but then also answers via like the K2 going off, answering, and
so definite spikes in the EMF then to make the K2 go off.
Yes. Yeah, and it was like always in response to a question.
Was this at the village, did you say?
Yeah, at Mansfield.
Yeah. Is that the paintballing arena thing?
Yes.
Is that the one? Fair enough. We didn't really
you've been there too, haven't you, Ash?
Yeah, I didn't really rate it, to be fair. I literally got nothing, like literally nothing all night.
I think that goes back to the old, though, 2 nights are ever the same, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
The first time I went there, I didn't really get much.
No.
But then, like the other times I've been, we've had quite a lot. It just...
Do you think it's one of those locations where you have to go several times to be privileged enough to actually witness something?
Yeah, possibly.
Because I've been
I mean,
a few times,
you've got
and
to.
I've had activity happen.
Mm. I think it's the same as anywhere. You've got to gain the spirit's trust.
Definitely. I always say, everybody listening is like, if this last waffles on about respect one more time, I'm going to kill her. But I do believe that respect is a biggie.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And I think if it is kind of say like you go somewhere and everybody that's there, it's their first time there.
Mm.
It's gonna be harder to gain the spirit's trust because they've never met you before, they've never seen you, and you're a complete new bunch. Whereas eventually, kind of after you've been so many times, I think they do kind of start to get used to you and
let you witness something, if you like. So Ash, your last investigation was it Mumby, when we popped off to RAF Mumby?
It was RAF Mumby. It was. That was super cool, that location. I really liked it.
Yeah, it's a shame you can't use that one for an actual event. We did go off key a little bit, didn't we? We went off radar.
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, that location, I love it. I've been several more times, and I am actually starting to really, really enjoy going there.
I quite like it. I'm quite puffed. So I just like the history of it as well, and like just the way it's built, the way it looks, like it's aesthetically pleasing.
Oh, it is, without a doubt. It is the most beautiful building. It's such a shame that people let these buildings get into these conditions that they're in now, because that building is absolutely stunning.
Yeah, it is.
It is such a shame. Yeah. Well, guys, it is coming to the end of the show. Thank you so much to both of you for joining me. It's been a real pleasure chatting to you both.
Thank you for inviting me on.
You're very welcome. Thanks, guys. And to the listeners listening at home, there is shows on most nights of the week. Head on over to Parasearch Radio, check out what we've got coming up, and don't forget to click like, share and subscribe. Good night, all.
Night.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to join us for more shows throughout the week. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web to keep up to date with all the shows right here on Parasearch Radio.